This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. So as everyone probably knows, we have a couple critical elections coming up later this year. I'm not talking about the referendum in California, which, yeah, that is a very important election. We got to see what happens there because if Democrats fail in the referendum, their chances of winning back the House in 2026 would be dead. But that's not the main election, or it shouldn't be the main election for anybody. Outside of people in California, yeah, it's important for the House, but if I'm being honest, it's nowhere near the most important election in 25. That would go to Virginia and New Jersey, as both these states are having their gubernatorial elections this year. And we've talked a lot about, especially New Jersey, because everybody knows what happened in 2024. The Republican Party had a resurgence here. As Trump lost the state, yeah, but not by 15 or 20 points. He lost New Jersey by only 6, which was like 10 to 15 point swing from prior elections. This came out of nowhere. Like, some people thought it was going to get closer, which included me. I thought, okay, with the trends we're seeing in New York, especially New York City, you would think New Jersey would shift to the right. That's what I thought, and a lot of people thought so too. But not a 10 to 15 point shift, basically overnight. And this came out of nowhere. And it was such a big overperformance that no one saw coming. It was a Harris victory, but it was a pathetic performance for Democrats up and down the ballot. It was sad. It was pathetic. Trump won areas that have not gone Republican in decades. That's how bad it was in 2024 in New Jersey. And now we have a pathway to winning the governor election. And I want to clear up one thing. I am not saying that Jack Ciattarelli is going to for sure win or if he's the favorite or not. I'm not saying that. I think he's in a very good position. And I think as of now, if things continue trending the way they are trending, I think he could win in November, but it's not a guarantee as of now. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But back in 2021, when New Jersey was far more Democrat, it was way more friendly to Democrats up and down the ballot, he nearly won. People just forget about this. In 2021, he lost by 3 points. He lost by 3 against Murphy, who, not the strongest candidate, but still, he was the incumbent. And in 2021, look at the polling average. It was on average +8. You had one poll, Trafalgar, be within the margin of error. They had a +4. Murphy lost by 3, or won by 3. A 1 point miss. Everybody was off by, at a bare minimum, 4 to 7 points. So yeah, in 2021, he outran all expectations, and it was a very high turnout election. In fact, you could argue 2021 was the first indicator of the realignment because he ran it up. Jack Ciattarelli ran it up in turnout. He barely lost, but he still came very close to winning. And ever since then, New Jersey has just gotten more and more and more Republican. And now he's going against a very weak candidate. So yeah, the state of New Jersey, it's looking good for Republicans. It's not a guarantee as of now, but Jack Ciattarelli is a strong candidate. He nearly beat Phil Murphy. And now he is going against a far weaker candidate in Cheryl. Now you look at the average right now, there's only 2 polls and it's +9. All right. So you compare this to 2021, you could say, well, it's actually a shift towards the Democrats. Well, there's 2 problems. A, look at the margin that Cheryl's getting, or the vote share she's getting. She's not at 51%. Murphy was consistently at 50, 51, 53%. You had one poll, Trafalgar, that found him below 50%. And you look at the prior polls in September and June, and there weren't that many, but it was consistent. Jack Ciattarelli, he outran expectations, but at the bare minimum, Phil Murphy was roughly at 50%, 51% through the entire campaign. Just what happened, all those undecideds broke heavy for Ciattarelli. That's what happened. So right now, Cheryl, and you look at the months of June, August, September, Murphy was winning by 13, 16 points, 26 points even. Well, these same polls right now have Ciattarelli down by 9. And Cheryl is only at 47%. That's it. If the same polling miss occurs, Jack Ciattarelli will be the next governor. Again, not a prediction. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. But that's why I am very confident that we are going to win, or we could win New Jersey. I'm not saying it's a guarantee again, but the numbers right now look great, including voter registration. That's looking good as well. But we're not going to really talk about New Jersey. I just want to touch upon that real quickly because it's looking good. Ciattarelli has momentum. I have no clue what Cheryl's doing. Her campaign's non-existent. Even Democrats on the ground are saying, hey, wait a minute, she's not campaigning. Meanwhile, Jack Ciattarelli is getting a lot of endorsements from groups that usually support Democrats. And they're politically active. So, it's looking good in New Jersey. But the other race that we're going to talk about is Virginia. And I will say this. 2-3 months ago, I was saying this race is over, right? I was saying, and everyone else was saying also, Winsome Sears is a shit candidate. She's awful. She won in 21 because of circumstances. She won because of Glenn Youngkin putting the team on his back. That's what happened. And I thought, okay, this race is going to be a disaster. Jason Meyer is the Attorney General. He's a great guy. He's going to get shafted because of Sears running such a terrible campaign. But something is happening in Virginia that is shocking a lot of people, including myself. The polling in recent weeks have gotten closer. Now, when it comes to the polling, it's still Spanberger +7, +12, +6. But compare that to just a couple weeks ago. There were some polls that had her down by 17, 15. Yeah, you had some polls in earlier this year in like January that was 1 point. But in the campaign cycle, Roanoke College, a fairly decent pollster in the Commonwealth, they had her down by 15 to 17 points. Now that same pollster has her down by only 7. That's a 10-point shift in just 1 month. Winsome Sears is not a strong candidate at all. Yet it seems like right now, she is slowly but surely gaining momentum. Spanberger right now is still not cracking 50%. Yes, you have Harris X, which is including, or not including independents or undecideds. They have her at 52%. Every other pollster has her at most 49%. The average is really 44%. The current average right now is roughly 48%. Compare that to 2021. And I know 2021, it was a very unique election. McAuliffe is not a strong candidate. Youngkin was uniquely strong. And you had all those scandals that happened. Well, at the same point, in the middle of August, McAuliffe was winning by roughly 6 points. 6.5 to 7%. You look at some of the individual polls. Again, you had some polls with McAuliffe up by 9, 10. And you notice a trend? Just like Spanberger right now, McAuliffe was not cracking 50% consistently. Yeah, once in a while, he would crack 50. But outside like 1 or 2 polls, he was at 47, 46, 48, 48, 49. This is nearly identical to what's happening in Virginia right now in the polling. I'm not saying it's going to go Republican, but if you apply the same margin of error, you apply the same bias to the polls to 2025 in both New Jersey and Virginia, Republicans would win both of them. Yeah, I'm not joking about that. I'm being serious. If the same polling miss occurs, we are talking about Winsome Sears winning. I want to be clear, that's not a guarantee. Just like New Jersey is not a guarantee, there is a chance for Sears to win, which is entirely possible because Youngkin, who I know is very strong of a candidate, he won in 2021. I know that was a very unique election, but that's when Virginia was far more Democrat. Democrats were winning Virginia at that point by 10 to 15 points at the federal level. Trump lost it by 10. Yeah, he's a uniquely weak candidate in this Commonwealth, I get that, but still, in 2024, Virginia shifted to the right. Not as much as other states, but Trump lost the state by only 5.5%. That's a 5-point shift from 2020. So it's a slightly more Republican Virginia going into an election where you have some very weak candidates on both sides. But Spanberger right now, she's missing in action. Just like Cheryl in New Jersey, they're not campaigning. They're not campaigning, and Winsome Sears is slowly gaining momentum. And you now have another big scandal in Loudoun County. But I would argue, of everything going on right now, there's one image that perfectly personifies what's going on in Virginia. Why I really believe that Sears is going to lose, but she's going to pick up a little bit of momentum and not lose by 20, like I was predicting. I think she's going to lose by closer to 5 to 10% right now. But there is an image going around on Twitter right now. It's going national. This is a national story because this is a real image. This is the Democrat Party in Virginia pushing this crap. Look at this image right here. You have a bunch of old-ass white people, they're old Democrats, all these people are partisan Dems, protesting Sears, protesting Republicans and all that. That's not a surprise. But look at the sign right here. Hey, Winsome, if trans can't share your bathroom, then blacks can't share my water fountain. Yeah, this is not AI. This is a real image of Democrats in Virginia, old-ass white people, saying, Winsome Sears, you're black, you cannot share my water fountain because transgender people can't use a bathroom or something. Huh? This is Virginia. This ain't some northeastern state that's 95% white. Virginia has a large African-American population. And you have old-ass white Democrats going around and saying, she cannot use my water fountain because something with trans people. You can't make this up. I know it may not seem like a big deal on paper, but this story's going crazy right now. I mean, Democrats, they effed up. They know they did. Every Democrat in Virginia, at least the majority of them, they're saying to everybody, no, we didn't push for this. We did not approve of this whatsoever. Bullshit. They just got caught. They just got caught pushing this crap. It's given Winsome Sears life. Already she put in an ad. And that's a big deal because black voters in Virginia right now, apparently according to people in this Commonwealth, they're not really excited to vote for Spanberger. They're not. And now you have this? Saying, oh, you can't use my water fountain? Who approved of this? Who approved of it? And there's a video going around of her realizing, oh crap, this is on national TV. Unbelievable that this is what Democrats are doing in Virginia. They're trying to lose these races. They're going down the polling. Winsome Sears by default is going up slightly, but they're giving these campaigns life. They're not campaigning whatsoever, and they've learned nothing. I mean, this is such a terrible look. I can't get over this. It's utter insanity that this is not a fake image. It's real. It's a real image going around and it's blowing up. If the Sears campaign is smart, which I've criticized them a lot, but it seems like they realized, oh, this is free advertising. They are already on the airwaves pushing this, like saying, see, this is what Democrats think about African-American voters. This is what they think about Winsome Sears. Of all the states to do this in, you're doing this in Virginia. Wow. You are giving these campaigns life when they should be dead right now in Virginia. I think New Jersey's looking good. But now you gave Myers, the Attorney General, a chance to win. Because the only way he does win, Myers, the Attorney General, he needs Winsome Sears to not shit the bed. She cannot lose by 15 or 20 points. If she loses by like 5 or 6, Myers could win. He's going to get a very weak candidate. He's the incumbent. And in 2021, he beat a longtime incumbent in Virginia. He did. Now he has a chance to potentially hold on. And if that happens, that is a huge win. Because having Jason Myers stay there as Attorney General is a big deal in Virginia. You get somebody with a backbone staying in office and trying to slow down the insanity happening in the Commonwealth. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.